Hello, welcome to episode 68 of the Epic Film Challenge, 1,000 movies you must see before you die. 1930s, the Age of Gold, or the Golden Age. Oh boy, another Luis Buñuel film. Apparently Salvador Dali worked with Buñuel on this, but left the production once they started filming. They fell out, something like that. So this is, I guess, purely Buñuel, I don't know. It's an hour long, it's a feature-length surrealist film. I already talked about the, Un Chien Andalou. If you want to check out that video, I posted it. It's the one before this one. Give you kind of an introduction to my distaste for these films. But The Age of Gold, I almost found even more of a chore. I've got the book here, and I can't read all of it because there's so much twaddle about how great this film is. But from the director himself about this film. He says that the sexual instinct and the sense of death form the substance of this film. Substance. It is a romantic film performed in full surrealist frenzy. Someone else said that either you are made like the rest of civilized humanity, or you are proud and whole like Luis Buñuel. And if you are whole and proud, then you are an anarchist and you throw bombs. Right. Well, I'm glad to be unwhole and I'm glad to be not proud because. It just goes on about how it's one of these most important films of the 20th century, and I've read how many filmmakers consider this film one of the greatest films of all time. Cannot wrap my head around it. I really can't. At least, in comparison to Un Chien Andalou, it has a narrative structure very loosely. There's a man and a woman, and they are trying to get it on, basically, and they keep getting interrupted, they keep getting stopped, and their desire gets kind of quashed by various different things. But again, it's jumping from thing to thing and location to location and random things for sake of random things. To me, this film seemed like an exercise in decadence. Louis Buñuel got £1 million francs to make this film, so he thought, right, well, I'll put that there, then I'll put a cow in the... Literally, the main character, the woman, she goes into a bedroom, there's a cow on the bed. And she shoos it off, and that's it. And the bell rings. I mean, what is the bell ringing? Is that her biological clock ticking? I don't know. Like, someone tell me what this film is supposed to mean. And that can be a good thing when you don't understand a film. But to me, it had moments. I'll give it that. It had moments. There's a scene where she's sitting by her makeup desk, and the wind is blowing in her face, and you see her mirror, and it's clouds outside. And I liked that as just a cool visual, but it didn't really give me anything for the story. And the guy, just would appear every now and again, and then he'd be in different places, different spots, and just random things. Like he'd get into a taxi and he'd go, oh, hang on a minute, he'd go and he just kicked a blind man and knocked him over in the street, gets back in the taxi. It doesn't need to be there. There's a moment where a kid is acting like a little kid and just gets shot dead by a guy. It just seems to be, let's try and shock people, it feels to me like this whole film was a joke. It feels like it's a rib. It feels like Buñuel is trying to antagonize people, to provoke people, because it's not a proper film. And I almost feel like it isn't a proper film. That's how much I didn't like it. And I own it now. I have it on Blu-ray up here. And I have no desire to even check out the people talking about how great this film is. I don't get it. There were cool images at times, but apart from that, these images are so sparsely linked together, and that the whole thing is so unlinked that it's hard to kind of get any meaning out of those flashes of maybe brilliance in some of the shots, and not even the shots, the way it was shot, but just what he put in the frame was kind of interesting and weird and things I hadn't seen before. But then when the whole film doesn't have any connection to me, and I don't feel like I'm really following characters, I'm just following empty vessels, And this was filmed during the sound era. A lot of it is silent with intertitles. There's a few bits where you hear dialogue, but it felt like they couldn't afford to do sound for the whole film. And even the sound that there was, it looked like it was dubbed, and it wasn't even synced with the lips. Like, it was just bad. And again, anyone who loves this film are probably going to hate this video, but I just didn't really get on with this film whatsoever. I always kept checking the time. Oh my god, it's dragging, just like it just goes on and on and on. It's only an hour long. It felt like 3. I can watch a 5.5 hour long silent film, but because it has a story, I can get on with it. And I know that there's a place for everything almost when it comes to film and any art form, really. You know, anyone who makes something and creates something, you know, they have as much right as anyone to say that's my thing. I get that, but it's not a thing that I find much worth in. It's not a thing that I find much to get out of. It's not a thing that I enjoy in any way, shape, or form. You know, it felt like it was toying around with sex and things like that, but not really. And again, I've read things where people are like, oh, it's all about the oppression, the repression of the bourgeois with the society and sexual like primal instinct. There's all this bullshit that I just. You know, I don't watch this film and think, oh, that means this. I think, oh, he's doing that now. Okay, oh, alright then, there we go, there's a cow in the bed. You know, oh, okay, yep, she's giving a toe blowjob, you know. Hey, it's on the cover, it's on the bloody cover of the Blu-ray right there, you know. She's frustrated with the fact that she can't sleep with her boyfriend, so she starts filleting the stove of a tattoo. See, this film is making me completely misgarble my sentences. Misgarble. That's not even a word. It's ruining my brain. I feel like my brain has been addled by this film. She's filleting the foot of a statue. And, you know... I just don't know, you know, I don't know. What can I even say? Like, the end of the film is just like a separate vignette that does not even link to the rest of the film, and it was just weird. And again, it felt like Buñuel was trying his hardest to piss me off with this film, because the last 5 minutes of the film were just dun 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 dun, just drum, the same like 3 beat for like 5 dun 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 dun, and it was just droning, annoying, and you know, and then there was this ridiculous like intertitle that was about 15 pages long, talking about like oh, and then we cut to this place, this chateau in Spain or something, and there's loads of people there, and they were there for 120 days, and they brought 6 underage girls, and they had an orgy with them over and over again, and then they had other people there, and then they did this, and then they did that, and it reminded me of like Un Chien Andalou, when it's like, you know, 6 years later, and you're like, oh, so this is 6 years later. Oh no, they're still in the same room. And then it says like, you know, 12 seconds earlier, and then it starts going in slow motion. It's literally just like someone at a typewriter going, okay, that'll be that bit. Okay, that'll be that bit. Does it make sense? No, just put it in anyway. This is art. This is surrealism. You know, am I too off base here? If you've seen this film, it's just not for me. And you know the thing, the real kicker here, the real fucking kicker here, is that films like this, Un Chien Andalou and Age of Gold, are in this book, and a film like The Great Dictator isn't. And they're hailed and they're praised as these masterpieces by these people, and I just, you know, I don't know. I just, honestly, I just imagine a group of snooty, posh, rich people standing around in an art gallery, just looking at, you know, a white canvas with, you know, with a cigar and a monocle, and going, now that's art. You know, I love the way that it evokes this sense of imperialism. Like that's what I think when I think of this film. I just think of people like that who just. You know, and again, nothing against people like that, but actually, yeah, fuck it. Let's not be safe about it. It is against people like that. It is against people like that. You know, to me, with films, the enjoyment is out of storytelling. Storytelling. Even in documentaries, you're telling a story, but in films like this, there is no story really. It's just, it's too symbolic for me, you know. I mean, I'll give it that there were certain bits where I could see the images and I could kind of fit something around my head, like, oh, that kind of would I guess mean this, and that's kind of a cool visual way to tell a little story. Oh no, but then we've left it, and that's just an insert shot that doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the film. So I can't really link that to the rest of the film and my feeling of the story, because there is no story, right? It was just odd, and not fun at all. So that's it. Is it a film you must see before you die? No, skip it. Fucking skip it. I can't recommend it. I just can't recommend it. You know, even, I mean, if you're into surrealist films, go knock yourself out. But I don't know. I'm starting to feel like this is the the beginning of the end. That this is. I mean, I've watched like, you know, a couple hundred films from this book. You know, I've made almost 70 videos on them now, and most of those videos I've had nothing but good things to say. And so I just feel like now I've probably got like another 700 films of absolute just toss to go through. Yeah, it's. And I think there's a lot more Buñuel films in here as well. We got a director's index in the back, so let's see if I can get to that, you know, without kind of ruining the flow of this thing. Not that there's much flow in this to begin with. You know, again, I'm no analyst. I'm no, you know, I don't consider these like, you know, academic reviews, but you know, they're my thoughts. You know, I call them reviews because it's easier to just say review, but I mean, it's my thoughts and how I perceive it, and I don't pretend to have any real kind of knowledge or, you know, insight into any of these films, but I can only give you what I think about it. Buñuel, where we look at, Jesus Christ, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Buñuel films in the rest of this book. Holy shit. That's got to be one of the most prolific directors in this entire book. Oh no, Hitchcock has got like about 30. But it's just, I'm not looking forward to the rest of Buñuel's filmography in this book. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll mercifully see you in the next one. Oh yeah, and there's one thing I forgot to mention, probably tried to block it out of my memory to be honest, but there's a moment in the film early on where the main character is walking past a group of people and a cute little white dog comes out and starts barking, so he turns around and he boots the dog off screen. It wasn't a fake dog, you could see the dog moving before he got kicked, and there is no reason for that. It's one thing to scare an animal to get the reaction you want on screen, it's one thing to train animals, it's one thing to, you know, pretty much kill animals, but to boot and kick a innocent dog so hard that it flies off screen, there's no excuse for that. There's no reason for that. Whatever you want to call it, art. No, it's ridiculous. I hated it. And to paraphrase the words of the great Jim Cornette, Louis Buñuel, fuck you.